Hello and welcome to another episode of Drivers Keepers. This one is going to be, well, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. We are on a road trip through France into Austria, Switzerland, Germany and Belgium. We are doing it with our friends who drive the orange McLaren 720S, and it's similar to the road trip that we did last year, although we're staying at different places. Anyway, some things have happened to the Ferrari during this trip, and we have driven some amazing mountain passes. So I think I'm going to put something together, but I'm not quite sure what. I guess the only way to find out is stay tuned and let's see what we end up with when I finished editing. So yes, let's discuss the route first of all. You join us today, or me should I say, in Sellerina, which is a little village on the outskirts of St. Moritz in Switzerland. And as you can see, it is drop dead gorgeous. Anyway, let's see where we started and how we got here. So we came through the Channel Tunnel and drove down to Chamoil. We stayed on the side of this lake. We then went via Reims or Reims, the old Grand Prix circuit, which is a fantastic photo opportunity, down to Mulhouse in France. The main reason for going to Mulhouse is it is the home of the Schlumpf collection, the National Motor Museum of France. This collection, put together by one family, is incredible, absolutely huge. Cars that you will never see anywhere else, absolutely amazing. We then blasted some mountain passes to find ourselves on the side of this beautiful lake in Brienz in Switzerland. So after that couple of days blasting various different mountain passes, the weather took a turn for the worse and we had some biblical thunderstorms, rain like I have never seen. The morning after, the Ferrari did not want to start. I should have filmed it, but I was so concerned the thought of filming just never entered my mind. It seemed to be firing on about 3 cylinders. It sounded like a knackered old tractor, and we had some tough decisions to make. We took it to 2 local garages, both of whom I think were just scared of touching it. They didn't want to know. One recommended a Ferrari specialist in Bern, Switzerland, which was about an hour away, and also recommended that the drive up there might help clear the problem. So we set off very nervously, going through long alpine tunnels, hoping that that's not where we broke down, with a very unhappy misfiring car. As the journey proceeded, it did get better and better, and by the time we arrived in Bern, I would say it had pretty much sorted itself out. They put it on the diagnostics. The yellow engine warning light was on, and there was a misfire on cylinders 1, 2 and 3. But, as I say, it was actually running okay. So then we drove 5 hours to get here and meet up with our friends again, who we had sent on. There was no point in them coming with us for a miserable day hanging around a garage. The people who looked after the car at the garage, the name of which I'm not going to try and pronounce, were amazing, absolutely fantastic. They also put us in touch with a factory around the corner who made waterproof car covers. One of those was purchased, £300. Thank you very much. And the plan is to try and not drive in the rain, keep it covered at night just in case, and that way we should be able to get home okay. But it looks like I think we probably need to replace all the ignition coils and their associated wiring. The guy at the Ferrari garage said, whenever it's dry, you're not going to have a problem. As soon as the engine gets wet, you are going to have a problem. And notwithstanding the engine, obviously, get off me, bug. The engine obviously has an engine cover. Parts of it are open to the elements to let the hot air out, and unfortunately it lets plenty rain in when it really chucks it down. So that's the situation. It seems to be running okay now. Keep your fingers crossed for me that we keep this amazing weather. Flipping heck, it's hot. That was a long 5-hour drive in 35-degree temperatures. Absolutely roasted, but beautiful scenery. Today we drove from Switzerland near St. Moritz to just over the border here in Austria. Quick update, the car performed perfectly today. However, although it started fine this morning, the engine warning light has come back on, yellow, not flashing, so I'm choosing to ignore it because it's running great. So yeah, will we get home? Who knows? Stay tuned and keep your fingers crossed. From Austria, we had a great drive to Oberlingen in Germany on the banks of Lake Constance, and then over to Boppard on the side of the River Rhine. Challenging little drive through the old town streets to find the covered parking, but it all adds to the fun. Then another great drive through Germany with a quick stop at the Nürburgring to Monschau. One night here, beautiful little town that we would have never found on our own. From there we went to Bruges, where we had 2 nights and a compulsory and very enjoyable day in Bruges, sampling all the delicious Belgian beer. Let's have a look at the route in total. Okay, Calais to Chamoil, Chamoil Mulhouse, down to Brienz, over to Celerina, and then Ried im Oberintal, up to Oberlingen, across to Boppard, Monschau, Bruges, and back to Calais. It was in Bruges that the bad weather finally caught up with us. It rained heavily through the night, no problem with the new cover, but it also rained heavily on the drive back to the Channel Tunnel. I chose to tape up the vents that were letting in the water, and that seemed to work pretty well, to be fair. So yes, after the crossing, the weather bucked up no end, and the drive from the south coast back up to Yorkshire was bone dry, warm and sunny. So I took the tape off and we, as you can see, made it home okay. The Ferrari now needs to go into Modena Rosso for another go on the diagnostics machine and probably, as I mentioned earlier, replacement of all the coil packs. It also needs to go into a body shop because, like a twerp, I managed to scratch the back bumper in an empty multi-storey car park in Boppard. What a tool. So yeah, not uneventful. It's still, it wasn't a happy car for half a day. And the engine warning light was on for most of the trip, but it still, touch wood, has not let us down. So I can't be too hard on it. A little bit more TLC should see it back up to full strength and fighting fit. All in all, eventful but amazing trip. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope we've inspired you, or I've inspired you, to get your car out, get it onto the continent or wherever your great roads are. Get out there and enjoy your motor, because whatever happens, it's always sort-outable. Okay, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment. Let us know where you love to drive your car. Let us know of some driving roads that maybe other people don't know of, and let's get out there and enjoy our motors. Like I say, thanks for watching and see you soon.